Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared. But I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles sort of thing. Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
There's the funds.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Knockout!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the channel. Joining me as always on the show every Friday night, my beautiful, beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was work today?
It was good.
Happy for it to be over?
Oh, I'm very happy.
Good.
I love Fridays.
You know, I got to admit, I always love having you here. It's just so much better. I don't know about you guys, but anytime we do these streams during the week, I always look forward to Fridays because when Mrs. Fringe can sit down and chat with us, it's always a good time. I'm always glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to everybody who's joining us in the chat tonight. We're already almost at 300 viewers, guys. Let's get a roll call going as always. Jump into the chat. Let me know if it's your first time watching. If you're a newbie here, we had a whole bunch of first timers the other night on our weekly stream. Jump in. Let me know. Let's see if we can get somebody from every province in the country in here tonight. I'll try to get to as many people as I can. If I miss you, I apologize. The chat moves fast. Let's jump in. Derek Macbeth in from Calgary. Welcome in. Great to see you guys in here. We've got Kitty the Prepping Cat. Hey, Derek and your beautiful wife from my son and I checking in from Tweed, Ontario, praying Trudeau goes. And he's seriously unhinged. Blessings to you and your family. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us in the stream. We got Mystical coming from Calgary. Welcome in. It's great to see you guys here. Mark from North Ontario. We got the Tune of Lee joining us again from Edmonton, Alberta. We got Chuck Davis, Peterborough, Ontario. How's your Thanksgiving? How's the family? How's the house coming along for sale? Chuck, we sold the house and we're moving. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Everything was great. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Welcome in to the stream. We got Georgina coming in from Ontario. Chris coming in from Calgary and Cowtown with the LFGs. Welcome in. We got Mike in Ampere, Ontario. Welcome into the stream once again. You Thunder coming in from North Quebec. Welcome into the stream. We got Ingrid Stewart coming in with her husband Charlie from Okotoks with the LFGs. Welcome into the stream. Ingrid, I hope you're doing much better. I did go back and see your comments in the stream earlier this week. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us tonight in the stream. Allison Taylor with Tiffany, you look glamorous this evening. Of course, she always does. That's why I married her. Iron Maiden in from Saskatchewan, one of my favorite bands of all time. Mad Dog from Hamilton, Ontario. We got Hannibal Lecture coming in from Northwest Ontario. Cuba Bound from Soggy Langley, BC. Welcome in. Almost Gaming coming in from Alberta. We got Gordy coming in first time from Nova Scotia. Nobody forgets their first. Welcome in, Gordy. It's great to have you here. We got Ryan Donald coming in from Brooks, Alberta. Thanks for the membership on the last live. Hey, there was a lot of them being gifted out, so I'm glad you're now a member of our Patriots Club. Welcome in. It's great to have you. We got Aaron watching in from Red Deer. Diana Carr coming in from Edmonton. Joanne coming in from Fort St. John, British Columbia. We've got Xylo calling from inside the house. I sure hope not, because my kids will just give you a run for your money. Welcome in. It's great to see you. Chris V from Selkirk, Manitoba, second live stream. Chris, I love Selkirk. Welcome into the stream. Megan RP, your stream will continue to explode. That's a great thing. We have one of the greatest communities on this platform. I've always said our community is the best. Welcome into everybody. It's great to have you in here. Princess Thickness coming in from Montreal. Great to have you in here. Jim Brown from Woodstock, Ontario. We've got is 250 Slow F Sport coming in from Toronto. Trudeau has done absolutely nothing for Canada. We're the laughing stock of the world. I agree. Welcome into the stream. We've got Jesse coming in from Spruce Grove. Hey, we're going to be neighbors soon. Welcome into the stream, Jesse. It's great to have you here. Let's see who else we got here. Sylvia coming in from Okotoks, Alberta. Angela from Beaumont, Alberta. We're almost going to be neighbors, but welcome in. It's great to have you in here. Queen Esther coming in. You both look great tonight from Ontario. Thank you so much. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We got Radio Reaction. I'm new. It's my first time from Ajax. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Welcome to the Fringe. We've got Non-Compliant Canadian, my favorite type. Greetings from Eastern Ontario. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean the government isn't out to get you. Couldn't agree more. Welcome in. Infectious Prototype from Ontario. We've got Brett coming in once again from Calgary. Still proud Stampeders fan despite being destroyed in Hamilton. I hear you. Let's go. Chris Guy, the Fly Guy, Beaverton, Ontario. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We've got Janet from Belleville, Ontario. No More coming in from BC. How are you? Welcome in. It's great to have you. Norma from Burlington, Ontario. RC Lamoureux from Edmonton coming in as well. We've got Countryside coming in from Nova Scotia. Josh from BC. We've got Boxcar Philly from Alliston, Ontario checking in. Welcome in. We got a lot gaming, or almost gaming, sorry. Fort Sask, Alberta. Sylvain Robert, Quebec City. Welcome in. Let's see. Grandma here, been with you since the beginning from the mountains of Alberta. T. Rich, welcome in. Again, thank you for being here. It's great to have you. We've got Viet coming in from Grimcrot, Claresholm. Coming in. Welcome in. It's great to have you. What do we got here? Romanian Patriot. Hey, everyone. Stoked for November 2nd meet and greet with Unacceptable Fringe. I'm going to get into that as we start up the stream. Let's let everybody get in here. Get those thumbs up in here, guys. Let's get this stream out. Let's see how many people we can reach tonight. If you're enjoying the content, Angela Sutherland from Mortock, Nova Scotia, welcome in. It's great to have you. We've got Tom coming in from Fort Saskatchewan. We've got Hemid X. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, from Cobro, Ontario. Welcome in. Dilgaff Brothers joining us once again with the LFGs. Let's go. We've got Rick, Sunnybrook, Alberta. Joanne from Fort St. John, BC. Great to have you in here. Saved by Grace saying, I'll see you at Winterburn Costco. Is that the closest one to Spruce Grove? Either way, I love Costco. I'm going to be in there blowing my wad. Chris Johnson from London, Ontario. Welcome in. Is 250 Slow from Scarborough. Adrian Lauren coming in from Alberta. Welcome in. It's great to see you in here. Ingrid saying she's doing better today. I'm so glad to hear that. Welcome back in. It's great to see you. CB coming in from Oil Frickin' Berta. Welcome in, CB. It's great to have you back. Land of Milk and Honey and Patriotism. It's great to have you back. Chris saying he's in from Beaverton, Ontario. I think we got that one already. I could be wrong. Stinger from Binbrook, Ontario. Welcome back in. We've got Mac Mama Hammer coming in from Manitoba, my home province. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Deborah, Cranbrook, BC. Got another beautiful town. We've got Chris from Muskoka, Ontario. We got Ryan in from Ottawa. Larry from Edmonton. Love the arcade games. I appreciate that. Thank you. People can appreciate good entertainment these days. They just don't. But welcome in. It's great to have you. Hillbilly77 from California. Welcome in. It's great to have you. We've got Joanne, first time from Fort St. John, BC. There you go. Another newbie. Welcome coming in. Chuck saying, and you sold your house, brother. Congratulations. I hope the new one will be nice as well. Let me tell you, the new one is absolutely gorgeous. When we left, Mrs. Fringe said, did you ever think we'd live in a house like this? I said, never in a million years.
Until the kids move in.
Until the kids turn it into Swiss cheese. But hey, we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We've got Tana coming in from Drumheller. Terry from Penticton, BC. Guys, I got to get caught up in the chat. It's already escaping me. Two of the things we got to address right away. Joe Lyman regifting himself a membership into the Patriots Club with the LFG. He's been a member for one consecutive month. Joe, thank you for re-upping your membership. Romanian Patriot with the $2 super chat. Going to be an epic stream as always. Absolutely, it is. We're going to get into it right now. For anybody I missed in the roll call, I apologize. But guys, we're already at 400 strong here in the stream, so we can't unfortunately get everybody.
And we started a little bit late.
I got to admit, with everything that's going on this week, it's been absolutely crazy in this house. Again, I apologize that we're sitting with the one mic in the small studio, two people, one microphone.
Couple months, it's not going to be that way.
In a month or so, things are going to change. I do want to talk about the new house in a certain light that we've talked about building a new studio.
Yep.
That we're going to get a new set built in this undeveloped basement because it's an open canvas. We can essentially do whatever we want to bring you guys a better quality show, not only on videos, but on our Friday night streams on Friday Night Fringe. We're going to get you your own space, your own camera, your own microphone. It's going to be high-end production, well, as high as we can make it anyways. But I'm looking forward to that for you guys. I think it's going to be great. We're just going to take some time to muster the funds together to get that going, and I think we're going to make something really special for you guys. And something that you're going to appreciate as well. You're going to have your own space away from me.
I know.
You're not going to have to sit right next to me and hear my yammering and you can't shut me up as easy either. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll need like a button or a horn or something just to get you to stop.
A kill switch.
Yeah.
We'll get you a kill switch. If you could grab my thing for me there that I had for the show. One thing that I was doing today that I do have to talk about while packing. I know a lot of people see the arcade games in the back. A lot of people get nostalgic. I thought I'd bring this onto the show because it was one of the coolest things I had to pack up, and I thought I'd show it out before we got to the stream tonight. So last year, when we talked to my children, things were going well for the Fringe. I asked my kids if you could go on a vacation anywhere in the world, since you were locked in the house for multiple years during the pandemic, where would you want to go? Now, despite my opinions of Disney, my kids begged me. They said, we want to go to Disneyland more than anything in the world. So the wife and I, we buckled down and we took the kids to Disney.
Pretty much spent our last dollar.
Spent everything we had. And let me show you a little bit of what was spent there, because one of the things that I was excited for the most, that I've showed on the stream before, Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. These, if you're into Star Wars, these are, now I do have the tubes for them that light up and do the whole motion sound effects. This is a movie prop level lightsaber. It's not the plastic cheap stuff you get from like Toys R Us with the Hasbro line. These are movie replica props. But I didn't just buy one. This was, of course, the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber that Luke used in episode 4. And then after that, I picked up another prop replica of Darth Vader for the collection as well. And also to finish it off from episode 4, Obi-Wan Jabroni's lightsaber, Obi-Wan Kenobi. All three of them were purchased again from Galaxy's Edge, and I was packing them up into a box today. I know Master of Snatch is absolutely furious that I got these lightsabers because I showed one of them on stream after coming back last year. But it's probably one of the coolest things in the collection that I think I'm going to mount to the wall in the background when we build our new studio. Yep. I think that's one of the things. There's going to be a lot of nerd stuff around the room. My Back to the Future hoverboard, Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, my Tony Stark proof Tony has a heart reactor sitting around. I think we're going to have some really cool nerd memorabilia in the background while we build our new studio and have our show. But just be warned, folks, that for the first little bit, as the show gets formed, the set's going to look a little weird because it is going to take us time to build that. And we will have to bring out content for you while we're doing that. So bear with me once the move starts.
It'll be easier once I'm working, and then we'll have more of a budget too, though.
We'll also have more of a budget to get things done, but it's going to be a fun set, and I'm looking forward to it more than anything. The fun thing about those lightsabers is that you always thought I bought 3 of them because I was just being a jerk and spending money. Now, Mrs. Fringe didn't realize until we got home there was a purpose I bought all three, and it's a little cringe, but it's also what I was wanting to do. So when you think about Star Wars and when you think about the message of Star Wars, one of the things that comes across in the Skywalker saga, even though it's dysfunctional, is family. The Luke Skywalker lightsaber I bought because, again, Luke was the son of a Jedi, and Luke essentially was learning the ways to get ahead in life, to keep his temper boiled down. And as my hot-tempered Harley Quinn grows up into her age, I wanted to make sure that she had that as a symbol of something her father loves and something for her when I'm long dead and gone, that she can keep, that meant something to me. For the hot-tempered individual in our family, the Darth Vader is going to go to my son Steve, and then the Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is a little more calm and willing to teach people the right path to walk on, will go to my son Wade. So each lightsaber was bought for one of my kids. And I think it's great. And you thought it was great as soon as you found out that
I did.
is what we did.
But at first it was very annoying.
It was very, very annoying. Um, but alas, they're getting packed away, and we will put them up in the new studio. I think we're gonna have some great stuff out there for you guys. Again, I'm looking forward to building the next Unacceptable Fringe studio. That being said, as I posted earlier to the community tab, let's get into what's coming up in November for you guys. Everybody wanted a meet and greet. So we said, let's do a meet and greet. Just for you guys, here we are to join us at Shanks South, November 2nd from 7 to 9 p.m. It's a Saturday. As Calgary says goodbye to Unacceptable Fringe. Again, books will be available for purchase. I know some of you had asked in the last live stream, can you bring books for us to purchase? Books will be available and they will be signed in person. We'll be selling them for the same price as Amazon, so $20 a book. It just makes it easier if you need an ATM or anything like that, guys. So $20 a book. We will have our own. We will sign them for you at the meet and greet should you want to. Supply will be limited. Just so you're aware, I'll be bringing whatever inventory I have left to that meet and greet for you guys. So once they're gone, they're gone. If you have your own books from Unacceptable Fringe, feel free to bring them with you if you want them signed. There's no charge to sign them at the event. I'm simply offering books for anybody who hasn't got them yet or wants to buy them in person to not read or put away as a collectible. But again, this is at 9627 McLeod Trail South in Calgary. It is the South location. I know there's two locations in Calgary. We are going to be at the South Calgary location, November 2nd from 7 to 9 p.m. Mrs. Fringe will be there with me. And I think it'll be a good send-off. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. I know some people have already chimed in saying that they're going and that they're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one of you, as well as Mrs. Fringe, Saturday, November 2nd at Shanks South. So I know that somebody's saying the north one is better. I know the north one is better. I live in the south end of town. I have to get sitters for the kids. This is the only time I could wedge in because even this week has been hectic.
It has, yeah.
Absolutely hectic. I had to get a giant dumpster bin put in our driveway. So we could
inspection last night.
Yeah, we were going to empty out all the crap that we don't want to take with us. We had our inspection last night. I've been dealing with lawyers all week. We've been dealing with signing conditions, with getting insurance organized, with banks, with all this stuff. I haven't had any time to really navigate what we're going to do outside of this move. When we looked at the calendar, we still have to organize a goodbye party for the kids. We still have to see friends before we leave and family. November 2nd was the only we could do, and it's only in that 2-hour gap. We couldn't make it to the north end of town. So again, guys, my apologies if you're unable to make it to Shanks South. That was the best I could do. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. Somebody had mentioned it's going to be a pain packing up that pinball machine. It's not going to be that bad because we hired movers. I think it's going to be okay. We looked at the reality of our move, and while I have plenty of help in Calgary, we're moving to a town where we don't know anybody.
Yep.
So we looked at the cost of movers, and honestly, guys, I'd rather, especially because it's a late November move, I told the moving company I'll take the next month loading everything into the garage, so that when you come to the house, you just load out of the garage into the truck, and then they'll move everything into the new house. And we got a really good rate from a company that actually watches the show, who helped us out a little bit. And how do you say no when it's no muss, no fuss,
Yeah.
no problems? Everything's in the house. You don't have to stand outside in the cold and the snow. You don't have to move anything. You don't have to pick up any heavy pinball machines. Because I remember you trying to help me with the Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, there was just no way. No way.
I bought the Donkey Kong Jr. when Tamara Litch was in town because we used her truck to go and pick it up.
That's right.
And she had to leave for a meeting that she had. But you and I were sitting outside trying to get this Donkey Kong Jr. into the house. What a nightmare. So moving is something I didn't want to do when it comes to it. Joe saying, what is the company name? Promotion? We're doing a promotion for the company later on. They've asked that I don't mention the company or promo it out until our transaction is complete. They want to make sure I'm satisfied. But I will say that they are absolutely a great moving company, and I'm looking forward to promoting them out. Reg saying, you have friends in Spruce Grove. I know, Reg. The Fringe family is all around Spruce Grove, and I'm looking forward to being out there. Allison Taylor, $20 super chat. Use this towards your new studio. Allison, thank you.
Thank you.
All super chats that come into the channel, memberships, everything that always comes into the channel always goes towards improving things for Unacceptable Fringe. I don't use the money to go buy booze or do anything stupid with it. So I appreciate that. It will be going into the new studio. So thank you so much for that. We also have a $6.99 super chat from Susan towards the Star Wars Toy Fund. There you go. Well, that can go into it as well. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who's chiming in tonight. Airworks saying, where are you moving and how come? So we're packing up. Again, we've talked about it on another stream. So if you guys are new, I'll fill you in. If you're a longtime viewer, I'm sorry to run this story again. The wife and I are moving to Spruce Grove, Alberta. We've looked at the crime in Calgary. We've looked at the opportunities for our kids. I looked at my bid for mayor, and unfortunately family had to come first. There were a lot of things that were causing a little bit of disrupt in our house. You're not happy with the current living situation in Calgary. We take our kids to the parks, the playgrounds. My wife walks to the train every morning to go to work, and she's confronted by drug addicts and homeless people that are shooting up in the bus terminals, urinating on the ground. You've walked past pools of blood in the middle of downtown Calgary on your way to work. Things are out of control here, and we don't want our children living in that. My wife has always wanted small town living. And I've got family that are moving to Spruce Grove. My brother's moving out there next year with his girlfriend.
It's a lot more affordable than the big city.
And when he mentioned Spruce Grove and we looked at the housing up there, I mean, if we got our house probably about $250,000 less than it would cost us to get the equivalent in Calgary. We looked around small towns around Calgary that were priced out of all of them, unless we wanted to take out a massive mortgage, which
nobody can afford. Nobody.
We could minorly afford it, but who wants to is the problem when you can get just as good for
we're living
way less.
Paycheck to paycheck now.
Yeah, it's
like we're getting by.
It's not gonna benefit us. So we decided, let's take a look at Spruce Grove. We went out there in the summer because again, my brother said it was fabulous. I've got family in the Edmonton area, and we fell in love with it. And we looked at the houses and what we could get for our money, and just said this is where we want to be. So
way more opportunity for the kids, and
it's more affordable for the kids too when they get older. Savage Silence gifting 5 Unacceptable Fringe Patriots Club memberships into the channel. Thank you so much, Savage. Welcome to all 5 new
Patriots
Club members. I'm reading the chat while trying to get it out. T Rich saying blessing in you. Blessing in you finding a new job. There you go, smacking your leg on the desk. Again, these are the things we're going to get rid of once Mrs. Fringe has her own space in the studio in the new place. Mystical saying, get out while you can. Well, that's kind of the feeling we had, especially once we put our house on the market. Like even in our community, for the longest time, houses, like you'd see one go up for sale every once in a while.
Yeah.
But this year in particular, and I think a lot of it has to do,
trying to get out, I think.
It has to do with inflation. It has to do with people thinking the same things, or unaffordability. There was, I think, 13 houses just in our neighborhood alone up for sale at the same time that we were putting our house on the market. It was absolutely crazy. And even our realtor said the problem in Calgary now is there's tons of inventory and people can take their time, because before it was short supply, high demand.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a balance almost. Jim Brown with a $5 super chat. No message. Jim, throw a message in there next time, but thank you so much. So ultimately, we're looking forward to this move. We've got everything sealed up. We waive conditions this week. So that's going to be good. That means it's a done deal. We're stuck. If we back out, they steal our kidneys, whatever, you have it. It's going to be good. It's going to be
I think
good.
I'm ready to sell a kidney anyway.
I think just about at this point. I think we're about done. I think that's it's it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. And again, what I'm looking forward to more than anything is bringing a better experience to the YouTube community, and to you guys. One thing I'm going to get started in here, and something that people had mentioned in the last live stream. It's something I ran by you. People had said, what are you going to call, like, we have the Patriots Club for our members, but people were saying, what are you going to call folks who, let me mute that audio there so it's not double coming in. People have said, what are you going to do for your viewers? What do we call our viewers? And people have said, what about Fringe Family? All last stream, it was let's do the Fringe Family. So I'm going to run a poll.
Should I have the typist do it? Spell family right.
Oh, did I not spell family correctly? There we go. There we go. Get in that poll, folks. Do you think we should call our viewers Fringe Family? Let's get this poll going. Let's see what you guys think about that. People were saying, the Fringies, said Xylo. A lot of people were saying last stream they really liked Fringe Family. They really wanted to get it going on. No More says Fringe Army. I mean, I like the Fringe Army as well.
The Fringe Army.
But let's go. Let's go and see what people think about the Fringe Family. Again, I don't really put labels on these things. We had the Patriots Club already, but I did say I'd be fair. I'd run a poll, and if that's what you guys want, then that's what we'll do. Snatch is master of Snatch. If this is the beginning of a cult, I am now the high priest. Snatch, I will happily make you. I will happily make you a high priest. There you go. The Fringe Element. So yeah, there's tons of things we could flop around here, but let's look. We've already spent 30 minutes into the stream
talking about you,
talking about us, talking about the move, talking about meet and greets, talking about everything else, nerd stuff. Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Finally, of what this live stream is, and that's politics. Don't you guys just love politics? I don't know about it. People don't really talk about politics very much in Canada, do they? It's kind of a short-winded subject these days.
So boring. There's nothing that happens.
There you go. Justin Trudeau. If you guys watched our video this morning, Justin Trudeau is on his way out. Now, I know a lot of viewers constantly coming back saying, nah, it's not over till it's over. I'll believe it when I see it. It's not happening. Justin's not going anywhere. What you have to remember about the whole purpose of that video, and what we have to take away from right now, guys, is it's time to get out your popcorn. It's time to breathe a sigh of relief. It's time to enjoy the fact that Justin is done. I know there are certain YouTubers who abuse the term "it's over," but it's literally over at this point. We're just waiting it out. Justin can't pass any bills. He can't get any new laws in place. He can't infringe on us any more than he already does.
The Conservatives for this.
We're going to get into that. But what I want everybody to realize is that we're in a good position right now, better than we've been in the last 10 years of the Trudeau government. He's under attack by his own party. They're forming a mutiny against him. Everybody's asking him to step down. The Bloc is talking about calling an election with the Conservatives. I mean, there's nowhere for Justin to go at this point that people appreciate him or want him around. So while he can't put out any new bills, while he can't ruin our lives any further, he's just filibustering around. So is this really a terrible thing right now? What I don't understand is when people say, oh, he's not done. He doesn't care that MPs are jumping the ship. Are you kidding me? He represents the Liberal Party. It's not the party of Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is a member of the Liberal Party of Canada.
But he thinks it's the party of Justin Trudeau.
Well, he thinks it's the party of Justin Trudeau.
No, he doesn't care.
But he's going to care to a degree because it's just more pressure against him to get the hell out. That's his life sucks right now. Like, if you think Justin Trudeau goes home at the end of the day and says, boy, I had a great day at work. I love my life. I love everything about it. I guarantee you he goes home and cries himself to sleep on his penis-shaped pillow every single night, next to a picture of Jagmeet Singh. because, they're not getting along anymore. He's picked fights with India this week. He's ignoring the paid terrorists in Canada that are calling for the death of Canada. Which, by the way, did you see the clip of Elizabeth May from the Green Party today saying that she takes orders from Palestine?
No.
So while I'm going to have a video on that, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit further outside of this, because I got to make sure, again, we're not going to get flagged for copyright abuse, showing the clip. But Elizabeth May saying she takes her orders from Palestine. That's who she represents. The Palestinians were the ones standing on Vancouver steps shouting death to Canada, death to America, death to the West, and death to Islam. Not Islam. Death to the Jews, essentially. It's my world with $2 super chat. Unacceptable prime minister. There you go. He is very, very unacceptable. Let's weigh in on the chat. Joe Lyman coming in. I don't know. I imagine he was surrounded by himself and a bunch of yes men. Yeah, probably. His plan is falling apart on everything but mainstream media. Well, but again, he's paying them. Like, that's like saying, like, my kids love me if I give them money. Like, they don't really love you. They're just taking your money. That's all that's happening with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, when the money runs out, they're not going to be there.
And who watches them? Who watches them? Canada RV, are you streaming the BC election tomorrow? I have been asked not to by other parties that know people that might be streaming that election because they'd hate for me to take away from their viewership, I guess. I don't know. And it's not anybody directly tied to them. It's just people who watch them. Look, I don't need to go making people angry. I didn't have any plans to stream it.
We'll leave it to the BC folk.
We'll leave it to the BC folk. Again, not that I don't want to, but one of the biggest things that I looked at it was who cares anyways. Not that I don't care. I'm going to be spending the entire day tomorrow emptying out my storage into this garbage bin that's out front. I can guarantee you I am not going to be a pleasant person to be around tomorrow night. I'm going to have some very colorful language tomorrow as I empty out our house.
You might need a few drinks after tomorrow.
I'm probably going to need a few. It's probably not the best for me to stream it tomorrow, but again, I very hopeful it's going to go conservative. We'll talk more about it on Monday when I'm allowed to talk about it. Radio reaction. You'd be surprised how many people still watch mainstream media. Look, my father still watches mainstream media.
I was at the dentist. They were watching mainstream media.
It doesn't surprise me how many people are complacent to watch mainstream media and believe it still. Again, I've said it on other videos. Justin Trudeau still has 20-something% of the population saying he's doing a good job. Yep. So they're the mindless idiots who watch mainstream media. It's
or that generation who still believes it's the truth.
Snatch saying stream whatever you want. I get it. I'm not worried about other people requesting me not to. It's, again, I looked at what I'm doing tomorrow and just said to organize a stream after moving, like, so this crawl space, it's not a crawl space. It's like a half crawl space that's above our garage. You have to like hunch over to get into it.
And it's the whole
length of the garage. All of our Christmas decorations, Halloween, keepsakes, anything in storage.
God knows what we've thrown up there in the past 10 years.
We've collected a lot in the last 10 years up there, and there's a lot of garbage that has to go. So not only am I pulling and moving a bunch of heavy stuff tomorrow, but I'm hunched over the entire time I'm doing it. Like I'm in a,
up there.
Yeah, it's like I'm in an OnlyFans video. It's just, it's not going to be pleasant on the back. I'm not going to want to sit and chat on a camera tomorrow night. So again, I'll be out for the stream tomorrow night. Short man hunching. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to be hunching over a lot tomorrow day. It's going to hurt the back. Leona saying, I am late. I just wanted to say hello to Mrs. French. I'm assuming Mrs. Fringe, and say you look very beautiful tonight. Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment to Mrs. Fringe. That's awesome. For Peter. It's always good. I know everybody loves it when we throw that in there. I want to get as much done over these weekends as I can, because again, during the week when Mrs. Fringe is at her job, I'm home full time with my 4-year-old. I can guarantee you moving Packing, trying to get things out to that bin is going to be impossible. With my 4-year-old tearing up the house, I got to use my weekends wisely. I have, though, filmed content for you guys for over the weekend. So fear not, even though there's no live stream, you guys will still have content.
We'll still be here
Over the weekend. What do we have from RC here? Breaking news. Justin Trudeau was replaced in January 2023 by Bill Clinton's bastard son from an Indian Tamil Nadu woman. They gave facial recognition surgery to look like Justin Trudeau. Yeah. I'll go with that.
I wish.
Now, do dogs and cats living together mass hysteria? There we go. Programmer X with $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I hope we get Conservatives for 3 or 4 more terms so I can get my pension and get the heck out of Canada before the Liberals regroup. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going on. What is interesting to see is Carson Sexsmith gifting 20 unacceptable Fringe Patriots Club memberships. Carson, my God, thank you so much. That's incredible. Wow. That's going to be going to the new studio as well. Carson, thank you for your patriotism to the Patriots Club. So thank you for that. Mike Freedom Honey, sorry I'm late to the party. Don't forget to stretch. Mike, I don't know if you guys know this about Mike Freedom Honey, but we might have a new sponsorship coming into the channel from Mike's wife, and I can't get into it too much until we seal the deal. I want to make sure I'm giving out the right shout outs when we do that, but we do have some great products coming to the channel real soon for you guys. I'm telling you, the only reason I took this sponsorship was because I really like what they have for sale. You guys are going to love it too, and I can't wait to get it out to you guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But welcome back, Mike. It's great to have you here. Carson, again, thank you for the Patriots Club memberships. Leona, I smell. I smile. I thought I was going to say I smell. I'm sorry, you smell. No, I smile. Today I took the dog out for a long walk, even though I have an 800 square foot yard. He likes getting out. It's good to get out and touch grass once in a while. I think that it's important that we all do that sometimes, because sometimes when I'm cooped up in this house for a week, you get wrapped up in the politics.
The one thing that I found when working from home, one of the ladies that I used to work with said, you got to treat yourself like a plant. Get a little sun, get a little air, get a little water.
What is it they used to? What is it they used to say on Parks and Rec? Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. That's what you got to do.
No.
Let's take a look at the poll, shall we? Do you think we should call our viewers the Fringe family? 78% saying yes, 22% saying no, and 196 votes in the stream. Let's. It just went down to 77%.
There you go. We'll keep it up till the end, and we'll check it again.
Well, it just ended. We just ended the poll, but. I'll put it in consideration. That's a very strong yes, but Fringe family may stick around.
We got to make shirts or stickers or something.
Shirts or stickers or something for the Fringe family. We'll figure something out, guys.
Get like those stick family things.
It's what do we got here? Maddie Chester, member of the Patriots Club. Hey guys, my husband is Afghan veteran. What a slap in the face. From our government. It's maddening. I understand. And for anybody who's patriotic at all, it's a slap in the face, let alone if you're part of the Afghan military. It's what Justin Trudeau did this week wasn't for any purpose other than a distraction. Anytime Justin Trudeau does anything, it's a distraction. And you mentioned earlier during Justin's inquiry into his green slush fund, into foreign interference. I know the green slush fund gets mentioned in there, but it was basically foreign interference. He's now come out saying that the Conservatives are the ones who have the 11 corrupted members in Parliament.
He has names.
He has names. He is privy to those things as Prime Minister, but that the Conservatives are the ones who are corrupted, that are in bed with the Chinese.
And yet they're the ones that are pushing for the papers and for the names to come out.
They want Pierre to go and get his silly clearance, and Twitter is all abuzz with these bots saying that Pierre should just shut up and go and get it. Jagmeet Singh's calling him out, saying he should go get it and put his party before his future as Prime Minister, and that he should clean house. This is the biggest distraction of them all. And they think that Canadians are really stupid to believe such an idiotic statement. If you're one of those people that questions Pierre's security clearance, you have to have clearance to be the leader of a party. Now, while it's not the clearance they're talking about, for whatever reason, what you have to realize is that Pierre at any time can go and read those documents.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can go and read the report, but he has to sign off his ability to talk about it. They're baiting him. That's what they want him to do. They want him to read the report so that it goes away, so that they can't mention it anymore. Because here's the deal. If Justin Trudeau had 11 names of conservatives,
Oh, he'd gladly give that information
don't you
out.
think he'd be finding a way to get that out to the public?
He'd be racing
Don't
to
you?
get it out.
He'd be lighting buildings on fire with trying to tell people, look, everybody, look, I put signs in the windows before the building's gone. Just look at all the names. Like, they want Pierre to read the document so he has to shut up. That's all this is. So anybody who's going to believe that this is about security clearance, that this is about conservatives, that it's about anything, this is Justin Trudeau getting desperate and thinking that, again, people are just generally stupid.
But through the 9 years he's been in freaking power, he's pretty sure everybody is stupid.
Almost 10. We're coming up on 10. But it blew my mind that we tried to get, and I even put out a video about it, and then YouTube completely buried that video.
Shocking.
They don't want any of that getting out. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Saved by Grace. How do I buy a membership? On the YouTube, you'll see where the subscribe button usually is. It'll say join. You can hit the join button, and it should give you options. I believe that's how it's done. There's Master Snatch. 68% are completely soft
68%.
in the head. 68%. You know, it's funny. Snatch told us that a long time ago, and now every time, even when
always 68%.
when you were driving back from Spruce Grove, getting your road rage on Highway 2, every time somebody cut in front of Mrs. Fringe, all she'd say is 68%, and it was. It's now a running.
Thank you, Snatch.
It's now a running gag in the house. It's show the video at the meet and greet. Which video? Which video are you talking about? I'm not sure what video you're talking. Are you saying till it's live stream at the meet and greet? I won't live stream because I don't think it's fair to. Maybe we'll record some clips or something, but or put some photos up in the community post or something. I don't think it's fair if anybody's going to come around town to see us or anything like that for me to ignore them on a live stream to engage YouTube chat, because they could have stayed home and been engaged in the YouTube chat. I want to make this one for people willing to come and see us. I hope everybody understands that there won't be a live stream of the event. Out of respect for those that are coming. So again, and I don't even know if those people want to be on camera or on stream. So with all due respect, we will not stream that event. But again, anybody who gives us permission, we'll take some photos. We'll throw some things up on the community. If you follow me on Twitter or X, we'll put something up, and looking forward to that event as well. Phil Oliver, longtime follower, first time I've been able to catch a live stream. Love your content. Southern Alberta rancher. I should order 500 of your hats and put them on my cattle and take a good picture to post.
Yes.
Phil, I will help you with that order so long as we Photoshop in the cows burping and farting.
Yes.
With Stephen Guilbeault giving a really nasty look on his face. That would be hilarious. I would love to see that. Get a picture of the cow. You don't even have to buy the hats. Get a picture of the cows and we'll put the hats on them through Photoshop. I'll find a way to get it all done. And
that would be awesome.
That's, I've been trying for the longest time to reach out to a graphic design company to get a new intro for our channel. That's a bunch of cows eating grass and then they fart and the gas cloud says unacceptable fringe. I think that would be a great opener for our videos. As soon as I can find somebody who can do that, we're going to get that done. Bruce saying YouTube has been drowning out a ton of your videos lately. The libs are scared of you. So I do know that Justin Trudeau's people do watch this channel. I only know that from when I went to Ottawa, and multiple conservatives that I'm
definitely knows who you are.
He knows who I am. I am on a list. I can guarantee you that. I mean, even Pierre said when I met with him, for the first time, do you have an accountant? Because you're probably going to get audited. And sure enough, I got audited within 30 minutes of filing our taxes that year.
Well, and now even
we're on a
selling
list.
The house, you're on a list. For
selling the house, we're on a list.
Money laundering.
We were on a warning list for possible money laundering.
I'd like to know where that money's going.
I mean, my realtor laughed at it and he said, it's got to be because of your videos. And I says, well, it's because of something. He says, I've never run into that ever in my entire career of real estate. Yeah, we're on Trudeau's list. So's probably others like Northern Perspective and other channels that cover politics. I know Pierre knows who the pleb is. They watch these channels because they want to know what people are saying. Justin Trudeau is very angry about the books I've put out. I've been told that by close sources to him.
Well, they're in the House of Commons.
They're in the House of Commons. We've seen my book in the House of Commons.
On desks.
On desks.
Kind of crazy.
It's a little humbling, but also unreal. And then when I went to the House of Commons, when I was invited to go to question period and sit in the gallery, even though it's open to the public, I was sitting about 15 feet away from old Skippy when you go from the gallery down to his chair. And I've told the story before, but for anybody who's new, I'll tell it again. I'm watching question period. I met with Melissa Lantsman the night before. Had the pleasure of sitting down with her in her office. What an amazing person. She did a
FaceTime with me.
A FaceTime with you because she wanted
so
to
lucky.
She wanted to meet you and the kids. And it was a great meeting. I enjoyed sitting down with who's Skippy? Justin Trudeau. I enjoyed sitting down with Melissa Lantsman. So I go for question period. I'm sitting up in the gallery where they requested my seat. And of course, Melissa sees me up there, so she gives me a nod. And she pokes Pierre and points that I'm up in the gallery because, again, I was meeting Pierre after question period. And as soon as Pierre sees me, he leans forward out of his pew and gives this huge wave with a smile and a shit-eating grin on his face. And of course, this is while question period's going on. Justin Trudeau, as he sits at his little table, the one that he always stands up from to look like he's got a set of cojones between his legs, even though we know he doesn't. He sat down, and he's one of those people, he pulls out all of his pens and he arranges them perfectly and symmetrically in a row.
Well, he's got to look like he's doing something.
He does his little girly leg cross, and then he sits like this on his phone. He completely ignores everything that's being talked about in question period, or at least he did that day when I was there. He couldn't have cared less what was going on. But when he sees Pierre waving, he turns around and looks like, who is Pierre waving at? And as soon as he saw me, the smile on his face turned to a frown immediately. Like it went from to...
And he walked away.
He got up and got his stuff and he left. And I thought, don't get a full head, Fringe. Trudeau doesn't know who you are. He didn't leave because of you. He left because he's prime minister, because he's got money to steal. He's got a scandal brewing. Whatever the reason is, it has nothing to do with you. Get your head out of your butt. And then I go downstairs to meet Pierre afterwards, and I walk in. They brought me in where you usually see the media scrums in the House of Commons, and into the back where right before they walk in to do question period, I was brought in there, and Pierre with this big smile again. How are you? Nice to see you. And the first thing he says is, holy shit, you sure ruined his day. And I said, I had no idea Justin knew who I was. He said he does not like the books. So if you guys ever want to make Justin Trudeau mad, you buy more books, take them to events, take them to any event, send them to the Liberal offices, do whatever you want to with them. I know there were a lot of people who sent copies to Trudeau's office.
They did, yeah.
When the book first took off. Making Justin Trudeau leave the House of Commons, I will wear forever as a badge of honor. That to me is the greatest thing that could possibly come out of anything, whether it's being verified on YouTube, having a successful career on the internet, having successful books, 7-time bestseller. I don't care about all of that. Making Justin Trudeau leave in the middle of the day in a huff. Yeah,
I'll take it.
That was worth every second. And I'll never live that down. That's head full. But that's the look that's going to be on his face for the next couple of months, or at least until he escapes Parliament. Because he's screwed the pooch. His party's done with him. Everybody's done with him.
Yeah.
Mike TV Dub, who says I never acknowledge him. Mike, I see you. Good old mod of the channel. Mike, why is King Fancy Socks mad at Derek? Because I made him look stupider than he already does. And it was fun. And I had a good time doing it.
Stupid.
I had a good time doing
it.
One thing he's done that I want to touch on, because you send me articles throughout the week.
I do.
You always say, there's some fun things I want to talk about on stream, or some things that I think need to be brought up on stream. One of the articles you sent me this week is how much money you need to make and afford rent in various cities across
For
Canada.
a 1-bedroom apartment.
So I'm going to bring in this article. I'm going to let you read the article, and then we're going to discuss it a little bit, guys.
Have me read.
What Mrs. Fringe brought in is absolutely unreal. Let's take it away, Mrs. Fringe. I'll give you the mouse, too, so you can scroll as you're going.
I'm not good at this. Okay, so this is how much money you need to rent in major cities.
You'll need to speak a little louder.
Okay. To afford rent in some of Canada's major cities, and spoiler alert, it's a lot. If you're thinking about moving to Canada, where the most affordable cities in Canada are, this is the breakdown from real estate platform Zoocasa. Might make you think twice about your next move. So this is where to afford a 1-bedroom apartment in different cities across the country. These numbers are based on full-time hours and 32% rule for income allocation. So for Vancouver, you need to be making $51.73 an hour or over $100,000 annually. Toronto, $48.08 per hour, $93,000 annually. This is just disgusting. Victoria, $41.54 per hour and $81,000 annually. Halifax, $40.38 per hour, $78,000 annually. These are insane numbers. Ottawa, $38.65 per hour or $75,000 annually. Yeah, I'm feeling you there. I'm screwed too. Iron Maiden. Calgary, yeah. $34.23 at $66,750 annually for a 1-bedroom. Like, what do people do when they've got kids? Montreal, $33.46 per hour, $65,250 annually. Hamilton, $33.27 per hour, $64,000 annually. Winnipeg, $28.46 at $55,000 annually.
Quebec City. You got to say Quebec.
Quebec.
Or people will get mad.
Quebec.
They'll come for your head.
I don't speak French.
English, please. You know I don't speak Spanish.
$27.31 per hour, $53,000 annually. Shockingly, Quebec's lower, eh? Edmonton, $26.15 per hour, $51,000 annually.
And that's for a 15-minute city, folks. Don't forget.
That's more realistic, though. Regina, $25 an hour, $48,750 annually. And Saskatoon, $24.42 at $47,625 annually.
So it says here that the study reveals the harsh reality that nowhere in Canada is minimum wage enough to cover the average rent cost of living alone. For example, the minimum wage in Ontario is currently $17.20 per hour, but a full-time worker earning that would only be able to afford around $894 per month in rent, way less than the actual average of $2,500 in Toronto or $2,010 in Ottawa. Meanwhile, even if they paired up with a roommate and split the cost of a 2-bedroom, they'd be looking at $1,600 for their half in Toronto or $1,250 in Ottawa. Now, according to Zoocasa, the gap between income and rent costs continue to widen, making it harder for Canadians to afford housing without exceeding the recommended budget guidelines. The affordability crisis is leaving many with no choice but to stretch their finances beyond comfortable limits or considered relocating to more affordable cities where job opportunities are typically fewer as well. For anyone moving within Canada or those thinking about calling Canada home, this report is a crucial wake-up call where you live that could signify the effect of your financial well-being. So it's important to know just how much you'll need to make in order to stay afloat.
Well, I mean, there is the possibility of a new house that came out in Whitehorn, right? In Calgary.
So that was another thing. Now we're going to get into that because if you've because Mystical hits it right here on the head. You need 20 Indian roommates in Brampton. Something in Calgary popped up that Mrs. Fringe found today that blew my mind. And when you think about housing and people say, oh, Rebel News was out interviewing people in Brampton this week, talking about temporary foreign workers complaining that they have to leave, people telling them to get out, that they shouldn't have to leave, that they've taken all the jobs. Well, this is why. Mrs. Fringe sent me this from Calgary, the community of Whitehorn. Income generating. Whitehorn home is listed for sale with 13 bedrooms. The city is looking into it. City doesn't care.
It's a bungalow house with 13 bedrooms.
So it says here, a home for sale in Northeast Calgary has caught the attention of the city and raising concern among housing advocates due to the advertised number of bedrooms. The bungalow on Whitaker Close, northeast is the community of Whitehorn, is listed for $500,000 on realtor.ca and the other listing websites. The house was built in 1980, includes just over 1,100 square feet of living space. There's 13 bedrooms and 1,100 square feet of living space. Wait till you guys see the floor plan. Look at the floor plan.
Bedroom.
Bedroom. You could even fit more people in the closet. You ever watch Seinfeld? You know, when he's got them sleeping in the drawers of the armoire? They could fit them in those closets. Here's a hallway.
There's a kitchen.
There's a kitchen. You could sleep on the floor, or I was going to say in the hallway, you could fit some sleeping bags if you had to. But here's bedroom. And then in the basement, bedroom, hall, 4-piece bathroom, utility. So you could fit some beds in there. Bedroom. This is insanity. But this is what it's turning into. This is where you say you have a problem in this country, that we have a massive problem in this country. And when people say you're racist for saying it's turning into India, what do you call that? What do you call that when housing is so unaffordable and so far beyond our reach that the only people who are living in them is the migrants? And I've always made the joke, well, there's 20 of them living in a house.
So this came to light because somebody found it on the real estate, whatever. And so the city is looking into it. Yes, they're checking fire code on this. Technically, for it to be a legal bedroom, it has to have a window. And some of these bedrooms are sharing a window. It's absolutely insane. Of course, the realtor is not answering any questions or anything like that, but it's wild. They thought that they would get away with this without it being anything.
You can even see in the photos, like all the windows that are coming down there. Here's where it says, while the listing does not show any interior photos, it does include a floor plan that reveals 6 bedrooms on the main floor with 2 bathrooms and a kitchen, as well as 7 additional bedrooms in the basement, complemented by an additional bathroom and shared laundry room.
Could you imagine that many people with that little bathroom?
And some of these bedrooms, again, remember that this is a 1,100 square foot house. Some of the larger bedrooms here are 11 by 12 feet.
And the smallest is 57 square feet.
57 square feet for the smallest bedroom. So essentially just a bed.
So each bedroom has a window.
You can see here on the blue lines. I know I'm not, I'll share the page again. The blue lines here are all the windows. So they each have a window. These ones are sharing a window. You've got windows here. But these larger bedrooms in an 1,100 square foot home. So in these larger bedrooms, you're going to have more than one person living in it.
Oh, they're going to be wall-to-wall beds, right?
So more than 13 people living in this house, all sharing laundry.
And 3 bathrooms.
Like, this is why we're leaving Calgary. This is in Calgary.
2 showers.
Like,
2 full baths.
I don't want to live here with this shit going on.
But if they get away with this is going to pop up everywhere.
But what's funny about this, and what's funny to mention about this, is this all comes to light. This happens just after Jyoti Gondek changes the zoning restrictions on properties. Yeah. Isn't that funny? An Indian mayor changing the zoning restrictions on properties, and now we end up with a house with 13 bedrooms. This is where everyone who said, oh, it's a good thing, it allows them to build more houses, guys. There were all these hippies chanting in the streets, it's a good thing. The rezoning issues aren't everyone's problem. We have to build houses somewhere. It wasn't to build houses. It's so they can do nonsense like this, so that they can turn us into a third world country, 15-minute cities. Gondek is WEF. Of course she's
Queen
WEF.
Of WEF. Wasn't she like the CAO or something?
No, that's a different organization she's joined. But Daphne Devine saying, yeah, well, we did fight that zoning issue, but absolutely. But this is where I say that every single councillor in the city is complacent. Even if they're against it, they've dropped the ball in so many places. They should all resign. This town, what is it Jack Nicholson's Joker says? This town needs an enema. Like, big time.
But they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and see how much farther they can get away with.
All big cities need this. Phil Oliver. Derek, we should chat one-on-one. My daughter's boyfriend's uncle. Sorry, I was going to make the joke from Spaceball. My cousin's brother's uncle's nephew's second roommate. My daughter's boyfriend's uncle is Stephen Harper. I don't know how to contact you that way, but I'm a bit of a technotard. Are you saying you could put me in touch with Stephen Harper? I would love to talk to Stephen Harper. Phil, you can reach out to me via email. Unacceptable Fringe YT. So Unacceptable Fringe YouTube, Unacceptable Fringe YT at gmail.com. I'll throw it up in the chat for you. I'd love to talk to Stephen. I'd love to get him on the show. Here it is on the screen for you. Unacceptable Fringe YT at gmail.com. Send me an email if you can make that happen. And I'd love to make that work because I'd like to talk to him about some of these issues and what his opinions are on these things. You know, I don't agree that Stephen Harper did everything perfect, but I did like him as prime minister.
Does.
I voted for him. I think he was half decent. He does a lot better than Justin Trudeau.
Oh God.
He warned us about Justin Trudeau. Mike TV Dub, East Indians were sold a false bill of goods with the promise of easy living here. They're exploited by their own people. I would close down every East Indian immigration business if I could. I hear you, Mike, and I agree. Xylo, yeah. So there were things that went on with Kyoto, with China. I don't agree with those things. He wasn't the best PM. But I still think for the majority, again, there are things every politician's going to do that you're not going to agree with. Even PP when he gets in. There's things Pierre's going to do that's going to anger you guys. I'll be here to talk about it. And I promise I won't rub your faces in it and say, see, I told you so. But as much as I like Pierre, as much as I'm voting for Pierre, there's always going to be things that happen in politics that we're not going to agree with. My old man used to tell me there's 3 types of arguments you're never going to win in life: religion, politics, and everything else. And it's the fact of that saying is that there's always going to be something we disagree on or that we don't see eye to eye on. What's important to acknowledge is that when we look at the history of the last 10 years, when we look at what Justin Trudeau's done, waving scandal after scandal in our faces, I'd take Stephen Harper back any day of the week if it meant not having to deal with Justin Trudeau. Nunya saying it's worse than that. Trudeau is a puppet of external forces hostile to you and I. Yes, he is. Romanian Patriot, if Trump gets in, I want to move to the USA. November 5th is coming quick. Yes, it is. Jeremy saying, I'm accepting any walk of life, but things need to change. We cannot support this current population. It's not just the population. We don't have the homes. We don't have the jobs. We don't have the GDP. We don't have the ability to share space with anybody right now or welcome them into the country. We don't have that luxury right now. We've given so much money away to other entities, other countries, to scandals, to Justin Trudeau lining his own pockets. We can't afford anything right now. We have to look after ourselves before we do anything else. I've always said it. When you talk about, being on an aircraft, when they say when the oxygen masks deploy, you put yours on first and then help your children. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you're a danger to everybody else. And that's the same thing in this country. We have to look after Canada first. Xylo saying, speaking of Trump, are you going to stream that election? Absolutely, we're going to stream that election. I'm looking forward to that one.
You even found your Trump hat.
I found my... Can you grab that for me? I meant to wear that tonight, and I forgot to get it. Guys, I found my Trump hat when I was cleaning up to sell. Jennifer Francis says, hundreds of billions of dollars. They're all going. I want to wear my Trump hat. I meant to wear that for stream tonight. My Donald. Millions and millions.
You look horrible with hair.
I know, right? It's a good thing I cut it all off.
It is.
Let's get caught up in the chat, shall we? According to Hillary Clinton, there will be a Black Swan event, but that may have already happened. When you look at Black Swan events, I think that when you look at what's happened, I can't say the words on the air because of censorship. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I think when you look at what happened to Trump at his rallies with the attacks, I think we're going to see that when she talks about Black Swan events. Wouldn't it be interesting, since Hillary had that issue with Epstein, that now something might happen to Trump before the election?
They've been trying. I saw something about Kamala having an interview this week. I don't even remember who it was with, but there was 4 of her people in the back telling her to stop talking. It got so bad.
She had a teleprompter at one event. She's got people telling her what to say. We all know she's wearing earpieces. Carson saying, admit it, you didn't cut it at all? I do. Dude, I have to cut my hair like every 2 weeks. It grows very fast.
It's very thick hair.
It's there's something in my family line that they don't bald. They don't go hair loss. It's thick.
The kids have it. It's
thick
horrible.
hair. It's where's your red ear or band-aid ear? I'll get one.
That's what you
I'll
need.
get one.
Yes.
I'll get one. There's another article you brought up. I want to get into this because this again comes into affordability. And I wanted you to be here to go through this one with people. Or you don't want to? I can.
I'm so bad at this.
I feel bad. Well, this is how you get better.
I'm just here to look cute. That's really.
This is how you get better at it. But I'll take it away. We'll get it done. Let's. You sent me this article about family medicine is not a priority. 2 Lethbridge family physicians announced that they're leaving Alberta.
Husband and wife.
So I wrapped up my final appointment with my doctor last week, and not just because we're moving. He's quitting because he said essentially what Alberta Health gave him as an option was that he would have to work over 60 hours a week and keep his practice open for the next 2 years, essentially with all of his costs, meaning he's working for nothing. He's working for free in order to stick in the business. He's over 60 years old. He decided, I'm just going to retire. I'm not going to work for free. I'm not going to avoid my family. But this goes into why doctors are leaving. I wanted to get into this because a lot of people start blaming Danielle Smith and they start saying, it's all Danielle Smith. It's Danielle, it's Danielle, it's Danielle. Alberta Health Services is a separate entity from the province. And when you look at the Sheriff of Nottingham, when you look at Rachel Notley and her husband, who is the head of QP, the unions play a big part. I almost said port. A big part in what's going on in the province. It's not all Danielle Smith. Dr. Jessica Van Sloot says that she has mixed feelings about, God, look at that. That doctor, is that really her name?
Vandersloot?
Jessica Van der Sloot. It's
well, when you say it like that, it sounds dirty.
Guten Tag, Van der Sloot. I wonder if she was a sloot in high school.
That's how she met her husband.
That's how she met her husband. Hey-oh. Okay, so Jessica Vandersloot says she has mixed feelings about her closing her Lethbridge practice and leaving Alberta. On September 30th letter, the family physician said she's enjoyed living in the southern Alberta city of Methbridge with her husband, Dr. Jarrett Stevenson, who's also leaving the same clinic, and their dog. They had to include they're taking their dog because they're not eating the dogs. They're not eating the cats. She added that she's found her work to be fulfilling. However, the unfortunate reality is the family medicine is not a priority in Alberta's healthcare system, she wrote in her letter to patients. The Alberta government has made promises to improve the desperate situation in family medicine, but no meaningful change has occurred, said the Lethbridge doctor, citing a promised new compensation deal as an example to one of those unfulfilled promises. This is just one of the many frustrations and delays that have made it increasingly challenging to work in this system, she said in the letter. Family physicians have been repeatedly made their frustrations known to Alberta's health minister, but have been fallen on deaf ears, she said. Alberta has a wonderful place to live, but right now it's a terrible place to work. She, along with her husband, who is moving her practice to British Columbia. During an interview, she said she feels the Alberta government doesn't value the work family physicians do and doesn't want to incentivize the kind of care but other provinces do, she added. Every month that goes by, the UCP kicks this particular can down the road, the further behind we get. Even if the province offered a new compensation deal to the family physicians tomorrow, the couple would still be leaving Alberta as their licenses expire at the end of 2024. That doesn't mean anything. It tells you that this is beyond their political views.
Like we are getting a lot more doctors, Calgary and Edmonton, from other, like from the UK and Nigeria? What was the one?
They're Nigerian doctors that have trained in the UK and they've come to Canada.
And the ones that were going to our doctor's clinic were from the UK.
They were from the UK.
Yeah.
It says the ship has sailed for us, but we want to make it clear that the inaction is the reason we're leaving in hopes that it'll make things better for the people who have to stay that aren't as mobile as we are. For Jessica Vandersloot, I have some slooty news for you.
When you say her name, it just
Van der Sloot, we have some terrible news for you, I'm afraid, Fräulein. BC's about to get a conservative government too.
Yeah.
So good luck. For somebody who claims to know a lot about the political end of what they're dealing with and blaming the UCP, what she should be asking is why is it that every time the UCP gives money to Alberta Health Services, the unions distribute bonuses to all the top jobs within healthcare? Why is it that people are buying their 17th car and their 5th house while hospitals are
Understaffed,
they don't have enough resources.
Yep.
They don't have equipment, they don't have resources, they don't have the supplies they need, they don't have enough staff to run things. It's not a matter of the UCP failing, it's the unions that represent you that are failing. It's the padding of pockets of the higher ups taking the money as bonuses that are failing. And this is where I'm saying I'm not saying that you give the government a free pass or a skate on this, but at some point you have to look at the bigger picture and you have to say there's obviously some money coming in. Now who's getting it and where is it going to? And maybe the swamp needs to be drained in order for those at the bottom to be taken seriously. Now, them leaving the province, if multiple doctors start doing so, might start sending a message that, hey, we got to start giving these clowns some money or they're going to take off. But
it doesn't help the people who are in need.
It doesn't help the people who are in need. Somebody said it. Canada will be Khalistan. It's already there.
Yeah.
We're already here. It's already there. Fag meat and the NDP will never get in power or be prime minister ever. No. God, no.
I remember when he said that everybody laughed at him.
When I'm prime minister, God, I even laugh saying it. God, it's how do I say this? The country is messed up and there's a lot of places that need to be drained and it goes to the higher ups. I was going to play a video. People asked me on the last live stream what I thought of the Diagolon guys. Jeremy McKenzie, Ferryman Stoll. I told you about when I met Ferryman at that comedy show I went to in the summer. Ferryman put out a really good video today talking about foreign interference and who's responsible for the foreign interference. Now, love or hate the Diagolon guys. I need to edit parts of that clip in order to be able to play it on the channel. And I probably will showcase it because there are points in that video that I do agree with. They've got their own method of doing things. But essentially what Ferryman says in his video is that every member of parliament is the foreign interference. It's not 11 select MPs. It's the people that are pandering to these communities. It's the people that are too worried about their optics instead of worried about fixing the country. What you have to do is get rid of it. Like it's kind of like an infection. Canada has this festering wound when it comes to executives, people tied to unions, people tied to government, people within the government that are all taking handouts, contracts, grants, money from taxpayers. And they're living their best lives because nobody's doing anything about the corruption from within. Nobody's stopping them from breaking all of these laws, taking all of this money. At some point in time, like Donald Trump says, you got to drain the swamp. And you need to have a complete 180 of government where you get somebody in there that says, I don't care if people hate me at the end of the day, we're draining it all. We're getting rid of all the big companies. We're getting rid, not the companies, but the heads of those companies. We're getting rid of their handouts. We're getting rid of all the money that's going to these places it shouldn't be going to. We're going to start demanding that unions disperse money with terms to them, with conditions that they're going to go to the right places. Those are the things our governments should be worrying about instead of pandering to certain communities in order to cozy up and get some votes. It's a major problem. This is where I've said that politics is a business in this country. It's not about what's best for me and you anymore. It's about what's best for them. It's what's best for their optics. They see themselves as elites. They're above us. While we're eating the dogs and we're eating the cats.
Not to touch it.
That's what she said. It's you've got What is it Nunya's saying? I'm watching in the chat and nothing about the criminals destroying us in broad daylight. Look at the crime. If you've got Elizabeth May standing out now, she's probably drunk again, but you've got Elizabeth May standing out saying, "I take my orders from Palestine." The same clowns that were yelling "Death to Canada" and ripping our flag in half. You socialist weasel. You Marxist. How dare you talk like that? She should be ousted from Parliament immediately for saying that. You're siding with the people shouting "death to our country." I'm going to be very interested to see what happens when Pierre becomes prime minister. What is done in the law? What is done with these migrants? Because I've said it before. He talks about, I'm going to come down hard on immigration. We're going to shut the doors. We're going to do a 180 on Justin Trudeau's catch and release.
That's a big problem.
It's a massive problem, but it's how much of it are you going to do? How many immigrants are you going to send back? Pierre's party likes immigration just as much as Trudeau. And I've said it before. When people come to the country, they know nothing about our politics. They vote for whoever brought them in.
There's immigrants who come to our country to help support our country. And then there's ones who don't, where we support them.
In more ways than one.
So, I mean, you can get rid of immigration by getting rid of the ones that are not helping this country.
Our senior citizens are given $700 measly a month for their maximum pension. While
that they put into
their entire lives, while Prajeet comes here and gets $9,000 a month in free handouts. What the hell is that? Why is that okay? Aaron saying, "Here we go." Here we go. You know what really grinds my gears? But OCD says it's imported voters. That's what I'm talking about. We're in this stage right now in Canada where we're running on almost like, and I've said it before with you, it's like teams. Oh, I vote for the Conservative. I hate the Liberals. Boo, Liberals. Everything's this side, right and left. What we have to open our eyes to is what's going on the whole scale. Stop playing checkers and start playing chess. You're going to see a different world when you open your eyes and look at the big picture, even against those that you like. And this is why I say to people when they get mad at me whenever I scrutinize the Conservatives, you have to, or we end up right back where we are right now.
Nobody's going to do everything right.
If you let your guard down, and I always compare it to an abusive relationship. If you leave that relationship and you get into a new one and you immediately let your guard down, there's a very good chance you're going to end up in the same position as you were before. But if you're a little cautious, if you avoid the red flags, if you know where to pull them out and say, "Oh, I don't like what's going on over here," you'll be a lot safer moving forward. And it's the same way in government. I'm not saying that Pierre's going to come in and do all these horrible things, but what I'm saying is that we can't let up. We can't give him a free pass and say, "Oh, good, you're here, so we're just going to walk away now and we're just going to let our guard down." Justin Trudeau has just shown him over the last 10 years, you can give your money to your friends. You can jet set around the world. You can get all these free handouts, all these benefits. You can multiply your own bank account and trust
6 vacations a year
by 1,000%. You can go on all these lavish vacations, and we all know where Pierre stands on those things. But what's to stop him from doing it more careful than Justin Trudeau did?
You can rewrite the rules so that you're in favor. I mean, he's done that how many times?
If the guy has a bulletproof conscience, and if he says that's against my better judgment, I'm not going to do those things because I don't believe in it. Kudos to Pierre. But the problem when you're in those positions is what's to guarantee us Canadians that he's just not going to do it a little bit better without getting caught? Dustin Ellis, we must uphold the right to strike. Absolutely we must. Master of Snatch, revolution will happen if they achieve peak prices. My example is usually $10 butter. That's when you'll start seeing people rise up. Yeah, I agree.
Well, we're very close to $10 butter.
I agree. If Pierre thinks he can slip his finger into your butthole, he will. Well, it's. Look, I don't want to say anything because people always think I have something negative about Pierre to say. It's not. Like, again, I believe that he's the best thing for Canada moving forward out of our options. But I see it all the time on other channels and other comments and in the comments on this channel. Pierre's going to save us. Pierre's going to make things better. He's going to fix things. Boy, I sure hope so, but I don't trust that he will. I don't let it go and say, yeah, I'll just leave it with him. I'll hope that he does those things. Are you kidding me? We have to be vigilant and we have to let him know, hey, we've just been through 10 years of hell and we're not going to let you get away with screwing around at all, mister. You better get it together and do it fast.
Yeah.
Prime example is look at everybody who's mad right now at Danielle Smith. Everybody says she's not doing things fast enough. She promised all these things and she's not doing them. What do you think it's going to look like with Pierre? There's people right now championing for Danielle on a platter because she hasn't done everything she said she was going to do yet. These things take time. There are people out there, there's very smart individuals in our community that point out, hey, I'm comfortable waiting as long as JT's not around. I just want somebody else in office.
But it will be a wait.
Those are good things. But do you think every Canadian who's hoping Pierre is going to fix things is going to be that reserved and patient when it comes to him getting things done in government? Or do you think there's going to be a lot of people who suddenly pull a 180 and go, hey, I don't like what's going on over here. He said he was going to do all these things. He hasn't done them yet. I think we're in trouble. Because even if Pierre does a good job, you're going to have a very high percentage of people. Go on Twitter sometime and take a look. Whether it's bots, whether it's people who like Pierre, they're starting to turn on him before he's even becoming prime minister. Because they don't like where his team is guiding him in terms of his optics for his next election. They don't like the curly hair at the front. They don't like the t-shirts instead of the slogans. Or the slogans themselves.
I want the smart ass Pierre that was here at the beginning.
And that's what a lot of people are saying is, where's the guy who used to stand up in the House? Now, Pierre does get a zinger once in a while. But can you guys agree with me that the slogans are getting old? Like, that's all we keep hearing in the House of Commons. I want Pierre to come out and start saying, I've got the people's votes. I'm going to go balls to the wall. We're going to start saying what everybody's thinking.
That's why people liked him in the beginning, because he just gave zero F's. Like, he didn't care. He said what he needed to say and got his point across.
Rob and Rachel Green saying, I like to see a leader with balls. Yeah. That I want to see.
Lost his.
I want to see people with teeth. J-By saying, yeah, but they're just slogans, look deeper. But what I'm saying is that I want a leader who's just as fed up as the rest of us, who's telling this clown to get out, who's saying, look, man, you're proroguing Parliament. You're shutting down work for everybody. You're stalling. You're a criminal. You're a crook. Call him what he is. Forget parliamentary ethics. Forget the way you're supposed to conduct yourself. Start showing some teeth. That's what people want to see. They want to see that they're going to be okay when this is all over, and not that, hey, the ringmaster at the circus is just changing positions. And somebody said it here, DMAC, more like Trump. I'd love to see more like Trump. At this point, it's walk the walk. Show us how it's supposed to happen. I'd love to see it, but I've talked with, here it is, like that guy that stands outside the House of Commons with his bullhorn just waiting for Trudeau. I've spoken with Pierre's people, and I'm telling you right now, anytime I'm talking to them, they're always worried about optics. They're always worried about Pierre's image. They're worried about who he talks to, who he's around. Ever since Jeremy McKenzie, they worry about every person he comes in contact with. If it's good for their party, if it's good for their look. How about look at every Canadian and say, I'm here for all of you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like me, even if you're voting Liberal, I'm here to represent all Canadians, not just the ones I like, not just the ones
that make them look good.
Yeah, not the ones who make me look good. Start showing that side of yourself, and you're going to find that a lot more people resonate with you. They get down to earth with you. They're going to favor you in that job, and they might give you that time. So all of these things aren't a nitpick at Pierre. It's that I'm worried that people aren't going to give him the time. You're going to have that percentage of people that expect immediate results that are going to pull a 180. And you've already seen it on Twitter. You've seen it in social media that as soon as the mob starts going, the wheels get turning. And before you know it, division is everywhere. And we're right back where we started. It's not Pierre I'm worried about. It's being back here. He's one man, right? We're a country of 40 million people. How do we make sure things are good for Canadians after Justin Trudeau is gone? You can't leave it up to just one man. You can't. Hannibal saying there's too many dumb people. Well, think about it at the beginning of the stream when we said how many people still watch mainstream media and believe mainstream media. Think back to when Donald Trump was president and the mainstream media against Donald Trump for those 4 years. That's what Canada's going to be when Pierre gets the prime minister's job.
100%. Except Canada's not going to be funding them anymore.
Conservatives have candidates and foreign interference. No. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I should have mentioned that first. I mean, Reg has it here. We're going to see some things change very fast, but not everything. So Pierre has said, you'll be surprised at how fast I axe the tax. Good. That's great.
But there's a lot of things that Justin Trudeau has made a huge mess on. It's going to take a lot, like, it's going to be more than just 1 4-year term to get those things fixed.
When you talk about lowering income taxes, when you talk about clearing red tape from real estate builders and making these deals with municipalities that if they meet certain thresholds, they'll get their funding, those things are going to take a lot of time because there's a lot to go through in the readings to get those things on the floor. And I'll give you an example. Look at Justin Trudeau's internet censorship bill. How many times has that gone through second and third drafts and now now it's delayed because of Parliament situation.
Doesn't mean it's not happening.
But
right
we've been
now.
talking for roughly 3 years about this bill and it hasn't come to light yet.
But it's still happening.
It's and Nunya saying it perfect here. The Senate is enemy territory. Don't forget, Justin Trudeau just appointed multiple senators that, well, they're not supposed to be biased, but we all know they're going to be biased. We know that that's that's the way it's. So again, guys,
The speaker is not biased either. Right?
Oh, right. You know, Fergus, Los Speakers Hermanos. Look, I don't want this to be a negative shot at Pierre. What I'm worried about is the state of our country based on what Pierre can and can't do when he gets in. And what I'm saying is that if Pierre wants that security, if he wants people to feel at ease with him, he's got to come down to our level and he's got to stop looking like a used car salesman. He's got to start being the Pierre that we saw 5 years ago. I want that Pierre because I'll tell you, when they announced that O'Toole was going to run, and I know a lot of people wanted Pierre to run, and Pierre said no because of his situation with his family. He didn't want to get involved in the prime minister run with his kids at the age they were. You remember those days? I was screaming at the TV.
Yeah.
Like, give me that guy. I want that finance guy who's smarmy, who shouts back at them all the time, who has the quips like Spider-Man. You know, he throws those one-liners in there that just get the zingers in. That's the guy I want. I don't want the guy lifting tractor tires in his tight shirt going, oh yes, look at me in my tight pants. I'm going to be prime minister. I don't care. Pierre, we like you. Be one of us. Come down to earth. You'll get a lot more with honey than you do with anything else. Dustin Ellis, a $2 super chat. Childcare will probably not be cut. Again, my biggest concern, and it's something we've talked about many times, and we've talked about on the stream, that money's going to have to come from somewhere. I anticipate, and again, I hope I'm wrong. I anticipate that Pierre is probably going to have to raise the GST. We saw Stephen Harper reduce it from 7% to 5% back in his days in office. I'm willing to bet we'll see a GST increase. We'll have to see some form of another tax that, while it's a tax on Canadians, it doesn't affect the cost of goods and services like the carbon tax does. But it's going to have to replace the carbon tax because how else do they pay this large deficit from Trudeau giving away all this money? I understand cutting programs, cutting NGOs, cutting funding to the CBC, all that adds up. But it's still, keep in mind, Justin Trudeau has spent more money than every prime minister combined.
Printing money for 10 years. Like
he's printing money. Like
he's run out and now he's just printing it.
It doesn't matter how many things Pierre cuts. There's going to have to be more taxes coming from other places to make up for the taxes he's talking and proposing about cutting. Now, as long as Canadians can afford them and the money is going to the right place, I've said many times before, I have no problem paying taxes so long as they're going to the right things. So if the city tells me we're raising property taxes so that we can put in new roadways, as long as the money actually goes to the roadways, great. I live here. I have no problem paying the taxes for that. I want to drive on nice roads. But even with Danielle Smith, and I'm very scrutinous about it, when she says, well, we have this big surplus. If you have a surplus, that means you're taxing us too much.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what to do with it. Give it back. Give it back.
Ralph bucks. That's what we need.
We need more Ralph bucks like Ralph Klein. People used to get mad at the Ralph bucks. Oh, look at them giving away money. That's our money. Taxation is theft. If you're sitting with a surplus, you have too much money. You have too much of our money. We're going without so that you can have a surplus and figure out, oh, let's do something fun with it. No, give it back.
Mm-hmm.
You thieves. Dustin with another $5 super chat. My goodness, thank you so much. They said if they were to spend at 2019 levels, they can balance the budget. I hope that's true. But again, we won't know until Pierre gets into office. But anytime the government says we have excess funds, we have this and that, I don't want to hear, even if it's $1 going back to every person who paid taxes, give us that dollar back. I work too damn hard to give my money away for them to spend foolishly. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you.
Oh, I would love to have some money back.
I don't care if it's $5. Just give it back. You shouldn't be taking it if you don't need it.
Yeah.
T-Rich saying, I have no problem, but I think that we have no choice to heat our homes. Well, yeah, I get it. OCD taxation is theft. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Our daughter keeps saying it.
Our daughter says it all the time. In fact, it's funny because even when we're at the grocery store, they always look at me when I say, how much is that after theft? And they go, sorry? And I go, well, I'm just curious how much this item is after theft. They're like, what's theft? I'm like, tax. And then they go, they
roll their eyes.
People don't get it. People don't get my humor sometimes. I worked in a dementia care center for decades. I could use some money back. Yeah. We could all use money back.
Yeah.
Was there a troll in here? I'm sorry if there was trolls in here. What is worse, income or sales tax? Income tax. Far worse than sales tax. Sales tax is a set percentage. No matter what you're paying for, you're always paying the same percentage. So if you buy something for $500,000, you're paying 5%. If you buy something for $10, you're paying 5%. Income tax, I know people say there's no such thing as brackets, but you're taxed based on your income.
Yeah.
And it's very large. We're paying almost 50%. Well, you're making an average salary in the city, which is below what those one-bedroom apartment listings were. And 40% of your check is going to taxes.
Yep.
Like, I'd rather pay 5% on what I'm buying than 40% of my check to the government so Justin Trudeau can go on another flight and live the high life. Canada RV, we pay 13% on income tax. Yes, income tax was supposed to be temporary.
Yep.
And that's the lesson where when I'm talking earlier about we can't put our guards down with government. Anytime during the pandemic that the government kept saying, we're going to amend these laws, we're going to change it up, and we just need a little more power. Trust us, and we'll give it back as soon as we're done. Have you guys seen them give back one thing that they amended during the pandemic? If not, in fact, they're trying to make it worse by controlling what we can eat should there be another pandemic. They just evolve off of it. I don't see Pierre saying they're going to give any of that back. Of course not. As soon as the government has that power, they look at us like peasants. Why should it's like the One Ring? Why shouldn't I have it? It's mine after all. It's my power. I have a right to it. It's the same with our city. Jody or Nenshit put in that protesting rule during the COOF saying that, hey, all these protesters can't be downtown. Remember the guys that he called white nationalists that don't deserve to eat and monkeys? He said, we're going to use a city bylaw that's temporary, that you're not allowed to protest downtown during these measures because it puts everybody at risk, blah, 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 blah. He just wanted the heat off of downtown. And then as soon as he left office, Jody Gondek comes in and says, hey, me and my WEF friends have decided that we're going to signal to the Drag Time Story Hour crew, and now we're going to amend that temporary measure for the Alphabet Mafia and say that you're not allowed to protest any event of theirs within 100 meters. You're not allowed near there. And it's a full-time bylaw now. That's how they get away with it. I said the same thing with the water restrictions this year in Calgary with the water main break, which, by the way, that main break broke again last week.
But they're not shutting down the
But they're not shutting down the water this time. Figure that, right? But when that came in, I said, look, this is all, they wanted to pass a restriction on watering your lawns anyways that failed. So now that they've done this, it's just a gateway for them to make it a permanent thing. I guarantee you, by this summer coming up in 2025, Jody Gondek will be reintroducing watering restrictions in Calgary. Mark my words. It'll come. They don't want to give the power back. They never give the power back. That's why we're still paying income taxes today. Sad state of affairs this country is in. Guys, what an amazing stream it's been. I know you're starting to get to that point. The kids are banging on the door. We'll start wrapping up the stream, folks. Let's do Q&A. If you have any questions you want to ask myself or Mrs. Fringe, get them in the chat right now. We'll answer as many as we can before we wrap up the stream tonight. Let's have some fun. It doesn't have to be political. You guys can ask anything. It's an AMA. Ask us anything. No holds barred. Once we see a question in there, when is that mayor of yours done for? It's next year, I believe. Next year is when the election's coming. I believe Farkas is going to run again in that election, and I hope so, because he's going to take it if he does. Dustin Ellis says, sing a song. Nope, that's not a question. That's a request. I will not be doing that.
Although you can sing.
Well, if you guys ever hear my voice impersonations, yeah, I do karaoke about on the same level. With certain artists, I can imitate them as well. But no, I won't be doing that here. What are your thoughts on the Flames this year? Honestly, I haven't had time for any hockey this year.
They've just started too, though.
Yeah, and I'm from Winnipeg. I usually watch the Jets if I can because I love my Jets. But I'm sure the Flames.
Be going to some Oilers games in Edmonton.
Well, my son likes the Oilers. He wants to go see an Oilers game. I've promised him one. I will go one time. I'll wear a blindfold so my eyes don't bleed. But if I could predict what Calgary's going to do this year, I'm guessing they'll do what they do every year. They'll get a great run, then they'll blow it. They'll go to the playoffs. They'll lose first round like they always do. Are you going to be able to get that thing off your head? Yeah, let's take it off right now. There we go. What is your favorite music? What is your favorite music?
I know I kind of listen to a lot of everything.
You listen to a lot of depressing stuff. Like every time I listen to your playlist, I feel like I'm watching Grey's Anatomy.
Harley says the same thing.
Like I just want to go for maid treatment every time. For me, it's probably a mix between, I like just about everything. But if I had to pick something I'm really into, probably like rock or metal.
80s, 90s.
80s, 90s. I got to be in that. I mean, I love Metallica, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Twisted Sister, whole bunch of stuff. But I'm into just about everything.
Where do you get all those cool Transformers clothing? Where do you get those, Derek?
I got those from Mrs. Fringe. I think it was, what was the site you ordered?
80s Tees, I think.
80stees.com, I think, had them. She ordered them for Christmas. Let's see. Romanian Patriot says, I bet Mrs. Fringe could write a book of all the stories she has from encounters in downtown Calgary. Probably.
C Train alone. Oh, the C Train alone would be like a full book.
Yeah. Would you rather have a Green Lantern ring or a functional lightsaber?
Oh, lightsaber.
I don't know. A Green Lantern ring, you could probably make a functional lightsaber with it, but it's a construct. So I'd probably go with the ring. Although it has to be a legit Green Lantern ring, and I can't go to OWA to recharge it. It's it would have to be a limitless Green Lantern ring. There's some nerd stuff. There's Tiff already whispering in my ear that I'm such a nerd. There we go. OCD, tax on cows? Yes, tax them.
I mean, their farts are ruining our air.
If I gotta spend taxes, if I gotta pay taxes, cows should have to do it too. Daphne saying you missed mine. Where's Daphne's? I can't. What kind of shooters do you two like? Unacceptable Fringe. I don't drink.
No,
I haven't drank since my mom passed away. Just because I'm usually a happy drunk, but I find that I worry a little bit with my anxiety that if I get drinking, the taps are going to turn on. So I haven't drank since my mom passed away. So I will not be drinking at the meet and greet. I also have to drive.
Yeah, I might have one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Mrs. Fringe might have one,
Loosen up a
but she
little
doesn't do
bit.
shooters either. We're old. We don't do that. What do we have here? How did you come up with the Fringe? That's an interesting story, actually. That's a fun story. So when How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom came out and we saw the impact that it had, I mean, within a day, we were actually out at the mall and my phone was updating every 10 seconds saying more orders received, more orders received. I think that was the day we made over $30,000 in sales. And the book exploded. I had people emailing me saying, "Are you the guy that wrote that book? We want to have you on our show for an interview." Things were exploding, and immediately my old man called me and said, "I just saw your name on the news." He says, "You're going to have to incorporate. You're going to have to do something in order to avoid all these taxes you're going to get from the revenue coming in from the book." So when I went to my accountant, who happens to be the same accountant my father uses, he took me down there for a meeting and the accountant said, "Well, we'll register you a company. What would you like to call it?" And I said, I had never really thought about that. And I really just sat there and thought, what can I name this company? Because the government of Canada is going to have to register it. I want something funny that they're going to have to put on paper and count as a business and take taxes from every year. So I thought a lot about Justin Trudeau saying that the Freedom Convoy was a fringe minority with unacceptable views. And I kind of thought unacceptable fringe has a nice ring to it. So I went with that with the company. And then when I made YouTube, I just figured, hey, we'll do the same thing on YouTube. So fun story. What other questions do we have in here? Let's go. I'm looking for question marks. Hannibal Lecture, do you think they'll start World War III to avoid elections in North America? I sure hope not.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them. I'm just going to say I hope they don't. I'm going to say no, and I hope they don't. Let's see. I saw an opportunity for a cheap shot there, but I've been told by Mrs. Fringe I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Daphne, I hope that's your question from earlier on what's your favorite shooter, because we already answered that. Dustin Ellis, $2 super chat. Justin, the reason for the Fringe name. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just catching up, guys. Steph says, "Do your kids play the arcade games all the time?"
Steve is the youngest, is always down here,
always
pulled up to a machine.
Always. My second child, my other son, Wade, him and I sit down here quite often. If we're bored, we'll sit on the multicade. We'll find a random game. We'll just go through and say, "Hey, this looks interesting," and we'll play it. We do it all the time. In fact, I know a lot of people say you didn't do it for them, but we built this during the pandemic because it kept us sane. We used to give the kids those tickets like you'd get at Chuck E. Cheese out of the machines, redemption tickets. And we'd go to the dollar store and buy little prizes for them to redeem their tickets for during the pandemic because we couldn't take them anywhere. So they'd play games and we'd say, like, whoever wins on a round of Street Fighter gets so many tickets, things like that. And it kept them going for an evening and they'd end up with a fun little prize at the end of the night. So really, we're just trying to do whatever we could to kind of keep our kids sane. Somebody's saying, "Where are you at with the houses and moving for Spruce Grove?" So Darren, if you came in late, again, we've sold the house here. We're moving to Spruce Grove at the end of November. So first week of December will be our first live stream. That being said, it's going to be a weird live stream because we're moving on a Thursday. I may have to cancel that one live stream if we're not set up and running.
It'll be
a really awkward
really weird
live stream where there'll be boxes and dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria going on. So yeah, first week of December is going to be a weird one.
Or if anything, I don't join that one.
Yeah, Mrs. Fringe might not be on that stream if we can make it happen. But either way, it's going to be a fun one. Do YouTubers pay taxes? Yes. Yeah. If you take in any revenue, you got to pay tax. Well, at least I pay my taxes. I know there's some people on YouTube that don't because they say, well, either I don't make enough or I have it in my personal account. So I don't report it. That's their business. Personally, everything that comes through, because I'm on Justin's list, yeah, I make sure I pay my taxes and do everything properly every year. That's why I have an accountant and I don't mind paying an accountant. Tiff, do you do shooters?
Not really.
You don't like shooters?
No.
No. She drinks Caesars, I can tell you that, but she doesn't do shooters very often.
Not a huge fan of the taste of alcohol. I
Let's
used
see.
to drink a lot of shooters though.
Let's see if there's any more questions in the AMA. Ask us anything. I'm trying to get caught up in the chat.
It's the best community. I love the chat. That's my most favorite thing.
Mrs. Fringe does love sitting in on the live streams because of the
Upwind, what's your favorite? That one. Score on Burger Team.
What's your score on Burger Time? I think it was somewhere around 400,000, somewhere around there. It's saved on the machine, so I'd have to get it, but I do play that one a lot. There was a time when, if you know a guy who cheats in the arcade industry, Billy Mitchell, I used to watch his Twitch, and I asked him one time how to get good at Burger Time, and he played it on stream, showed a lot about the patterns. So I've learned a thing or two about Burger Time and can run that game for quite some time. I did see somebody said, do I have to give you more money? I'm assuming for me to answer a question. Dustin, get your question in there again. I'm sorry if I'm skipping through. I'm trying to get them all.
Scrolling through it so fast, I can't even catch up.
Yeah,
to
so
it. Sorry,
throw your
Dustin.
question in there again, Dustin. I'll try and find it. What do we have? Somebody said, do you have Pac-Man? J-Bye, do you have Pac-Man?
Yes.
I have Pac-Man on a multicade. I used to have a Pac-Man machine.
Kids kind of scratched.
My kids kind of ruined that one.
I blame you though for putting it in their room. I mean,
it was one of our first ones, and yeah, but I like Miss Pac-Man more than Pac-Man. But
are you prepared for winter?
I'm always prepared for winter. I love winter. I live for winter. Edmonton winter might be a bit different because it's not like Calgary.
I am not prepared for winter.
What is your favorite movie? Back to the Future. If you ask 1, 2, or 3, all of them. They're all tied. Back to the Future's favorite. What about you? Favorite movie?
I don't know.
Favorite movie? Think about it.
I like a lot of movies. I don't know if I have a favorite.
Let's see. Did we see that question pop up again, Dustin Ellis?
I know you're right there. Let's hear your biggest Justin insult.
Oh, he should go look in a mirror. That takes care of it, right? Does Mrs. Fringe play any of the games?
Not as much.
You play the light gun games. You like Duck Hunt.
I do like Duck Hunt. I hate the dog. I like Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, you're into Bubble Bobble, Puzzle Bobble.
Puzzle Bobble.
They call it Bust a Move, I think.
I know. I'm more into the GameCube. I love the GameCube games more than the arcade games.
Yeah, you play pinball a little bit.
Yeah.
How are you guys going to celebrate the new house? So you're going to do a big housewarming? No. How I'm going to celebrate?
We don't know anybody there, so we're just gonna live in peace, and nobody knows where we are. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. I think what I'm gonna do is sleep in on a Saturday. I think that's gonna be how I'll celebrate.
Sleep in every Saturday.
That brand new bedroom and that glass shower. I think I'll sleep in and then enjoy a shower. I think
that's how. Drink in the tub.
There, you could drink in that giant tub.
There's no crying bench in the shower.
It has one of those massive bathtubs that's like if I'm standing, I'm a short guy, but if I'm standing, it's over my waist. Like it's a big soaker tub. Not a jetted one, but like
I won't fill it with water. I'll just sit and drink.
I call it an artsy fartsy tub because it's like these new weird like pretentious tubs. But yeah, you can sit in there.
Yeah, there's no crying.
Somebody keeps mentioning the arcades. You know what's funny, and it's too bad Arthur's not in here tonight. I found a legit Dragon's Lair machine for sale this week. I told you about in Edmonton, near Edmonton. The guy wanted almost $4,000 for it, and granted, it's one of the most rare working arcade games to find these days.
But the wife just approved another machine. I'm not doing another one.
Dustin says, do I have to give you more money? I mean, you don't have to, but you're welcome to. I'm not going to say no. I'm just kidding, Dustin. No, you don't have to give me money. I'm sorry. I'm going through to try and find questions.
You're scrolling so fast.
I'm just looking for question marks. Is there any backlash after dropping out of the mayor race? Do you feel more at peace with your decision? I'm really disappointed that I dropped out, and I do have some regrets because I was looking forward. I didn't think I could win that race, but I was looking forward to making as much of a stink as I could.
Yes, and just having your voice out there and your thoughts out there because you had some really good things and changes that you wanted to do to the city. But
there has been backlash from a lot of areas that there's people who have said they've lost respect for me. They think that I'm deserting Calgary by leaving. I know friends that were once friends are friends no more, and it's not necessarily just the mayor race, but a lot of things have changed in our lives in terms of the company we keep, the people we stay in touch with. Um, I've had groups reach out to me telling me that they think that it was all just um, a, a pony smoke and mirror pony show to get people to follow or to watch the channel. I had every intention on running for mayor, and yeah, it kind of kills me that I dropped out. But personal things that I don't want to get into on stream happened within my family, and I saw the amount of work that was going to have to go into getting things together. There wasn't a lot of help on the front of getting volunteers, getting things together. That it was going to be a very uphill battle, and I chose my family over my wants. And some people have heard me say that in other streams, and I've been getting messages saying I'm selfish for doing so. That I'm deserting an entire city because it's what I wanted to look after my family. I'm sorry you feel that way, but family first. I'm not going to feel bad about that. But yeah, there's been a bit of backlash. Phil saying, did you receive my email? If so, we will definitely chat another day. I'll have to check my email after the stream. I'm not sure if I've got it or not. I'm sure it's there. Did you ever collect yo-yos or hacky sacks or pogs? No, I did not. I didn't. What kind of work will Mr. Fringe be looking for? None. I don't. I'm full-time at home with my kids. I've got a 4-year-old at home right now who's not in school. My wife wanted her career, and I decided to stay home with our kids. Once the booked business took off and YouTube, that's kind of just like having a part-time income. So essentially, that's what I bring in, and because it's not a very large amount, it helps us on our taxes because Mrs. Fringe can claim me while I'm at home. So when we actually do the math and when we take what I make as well as what's brought in from income taxes, it's almost the same as having a low-paying full-time job. So Mrs. Fringe is going to be moving out into the workforce again because she likes her career, and I'll be continuing to do YouTube. Are the kids excited to have Christmas in their new house?
They are.
Very.
They're excited that when we move and unpack, we pretty much get to right away decorate. So it'll be a good change.
Is it a Tom Clark bathtub? No, it is not copper, and it is not a Tom Clark bathtub. It's not as fancy as Trudeau's,
No.
but it's going to be DMAX saying we'll look for you in the spring. Listen, we're going to do a get together when we get out there at some point as well. So you're not going to have to
because we're moving so close to Christmas and New Year's. We'll probably plan something for
in the new year. Very, very early in the new year.
Yeah.
How did you score a 10 with your wife? Chloroform and a lot of alcohol. It's I was very crafty. No, I've known Mrs. Fringe since high school. We met in high school.
He got me when I was young and stupid,
and I was very stupid too, still am, but hey, it worked out. All I remember, and it's funny because I can still tell her what time of day it was, what she was wearing. And I keep saying it's almost like time froze. And I know that sounds very sappy, but she walked by, and I've told this story before, because of course I'm a horny teenager, and she walks by and she gives this terrible scowl, this really nasty scowl. I don't think it was at me, but it was in the direction that I was looking. And
you had really stupid hair.
I had really stupid hair in high school,
really stupid hair.
But I looked at her and I said to my friend, "Who is that?" And he says, "Oh, that's Tiffany." And I said, "Somebody needs to screw that look off of her face, and I'm going to be that man." And here we are. Here we are 4 kids later. Fun times. That's how I scored a 10 with my unwitted charm. DMAC, do you like Tetris? I love Tetris. I have a connection to Tetris because it actually helped my mom quit smoking in the 90s when she was still alive.
And I think that's one of your favorite memories is watching her play. And I think that's why you like it so much.
I'm trying to get caught up in the chat.
Stop going so fast.
Do you have a backyard for the pets?
No.
Yes, we do. Well, we're going to. The new house doesn't have any sod laid
So
down.
if anybody wants to build us a fence,
No, we're going to build a fence. We have a year to lay down the sod. As soon as we get a lawn, yes, we'll have a backyard.
we'll have a deck and we'll just go for lots of walks in Edmonton. Isn't that what kids are for? Pack them up, bundle them up, let them
Free
do it?
labor?
Yeah.
Cheap labor? Cryptomaria is saying you're such a cute couple. I appreciate that. That's fun. That's fun. You should see us outside. Here's a little bit of profanity for anybody who doesn't like it. You just plug your ears. But we always said that we mastered hall sex because whenever we pass each other, we just say "fuck you," and that's where we're at now. But it's not. No, actually,
Yes, we met in Calgary.
In Calgary at high school, and it's funny because we dated in high school. We split up, and then we got back together. We stayed friends. And got back together, moved in as friends, and then
before we started dating.
We started dating again, and then got married. Because as soon as we got back together, I said, "That's it. I'm not letting her get away again."
Yeah, you proposed like right away.
Well, it was
a year.
It was a year.
Not even.
That's pretty standard. Does Mrs. Fringe have a sister that likes Mexico? No, Carson, she does not. So now you're gonna get my wife saying, "Well, I'll go to Mexico," and don't be doing.
I've never been to Mexico.
Get your hands off my Kool-Aid, man. What do we got?
Someone said make a garden, it's cheaper. I am not a gardening person. We had a beautiful garden in the backyard here, and just the thought of no.
Ingrid said, "What is the scariest thing you saw going to work on the LRT?"
Oh my God. The scariest?
Didn't you see somebody get hit by a train?
No, I think the scariest was the guy who was talking to himself, talking about having a bomb.
Yeah.
Like the train literally split apart and he was in the middle all by himself. The conductor actually came out. Is that what they're called? I know the train driver came out.
You make it sound like Thomas the Train, like George Carlin came out. Hey, everybody.
Came out and he asked if we were all okay. And like he was just talking to himself, but very scary things he was talking about. I think that has to be one of them. I mean, there's so many, really.
Dustin saying, "Do you watch Prawn?"
Yes.
Everybody has the internet. I mean,
isn't that what the internet's for?
I kind of thought that's what the internet was made for.
There's a song about it.
No, I don't openly watch that. No, but it's out there. It's everywhere. You kind of can't avoid it these days. I don't go out of my way to watch it, is what I will say. Phil Oliver, I too am a father of 4, 3 girls, 1 boy.
Free labor. Isn't that what they're for?
Free labor for the ranch.
That or like zombie bait?
Zombie bait. That's what Tiff always called babies, because if you have a baby, you can put them down in a zombie apocalypse and run away and get away.
Your dad really didn't like that.
Dad didn't get the joke. That's okay. My husband was wondering if you like Spawn the cartoon. Oh. Todd McFarlane's best work. I actually have the whole series on DVD. Tiffany got it for me one year for Christmas. Love it. I wish they're talking about making a new movie under Todd McFarlane's guise and tutelage. I hope so, and I hope they make it like the cartoon. That'd be absolutely amazing. Roman Mexico rocks. Don't be telling my wife how good Mexico is. Come on. Master Snatch Spawn was great. It was amazing. Much better than the movie. You missed Todd at the expo this year. I know. In fact, you know what's funny? I ran into Todd McFarlane once at a coffee shop in Calgary because he used to go to Western High School in Calgary. And I was in and around the area. He was living some memories up. I saw him and in my younger days, and he signed a bottle of Jack Daniels that I had with me because I didn't have anything. I was on my way to a party and I had a bottle of Jack Daniels.
And you probably left it at the party, didn't you?
I dropped it on the sidewalk. I was so upset. I was so upset. He's one of the coolest guys I've ever met. He's pretty cool.
What would you say to your identical self?
What would I say to my identical self? Now there's 2 good-looking people in this world. I don't know. I really don't know what I'd say. Don't touch my wife. Probably that's probably what I'd say. You drink that stuff? When I used to drink, yeah, it was always Jack Daniels, because the thing I liked about Jack Daniels, I mean, you used to get mad when I'd buy that at parties because you couldn't drink any of it.
Because nobody likes it.
Nobody liked it.
Drink it.
So if you, like, I used to take like rum or something to a house party, And when you take rum to a house party and leave it on the counter, when you're, 17, 18 years old, people steal your rum. But if you take Jack Daniels, nobody likes it.
Nobody's drinking.
So it stays there all night. You don't got to worry about it. So I actually got into it and I enjoyed it. How do you drink your JD? Ice cubes and ice cubes. That's
No, you drink with Coke.
I put a
usually.
splash in there.
Oh.
Usually it's
Very strong.
very strong.
I think it's just for color, really.
It's really color. That's it. I don't want to be racist, so I throw some Coke in there so it's black.
That was bad.
Have you ever been arrested? Yes. For what? I'm not going to get into it, but it was minor. It was no big deal, and it was a very long time ago.
Nothing permanent.
Nothing permanent. Nothing I have a record for.
Stupid kid shit.
I'm going to say arrested because I was put in cuffs, but there were no charges.
No.
So
Like, you've never been in jail. Or
technically, I've been in cuffs in the back of a car while the police yelled at my wife and said, "Why are you with this idiot?"
And I still married you.
And you still married me, and there were no charges. So technically, I have, but I haven't. What's the dream after you move? Build the life that you don't need a vacation from? Yeah, so that was essentially, it's just living and enjoying my kids. That's it.
Find a job and be able to live.
I just want to be able to have fun with my kids, watch them grow up, and
worrying about what bill to pay.
not be in a giant city where I got to worry about them being outside having a good time. It's what do you know about Amazon Audible? Is that how you got your book started? Audible, I don't really mess around with. I don't know a lot about it. I use Kindle publishing for my books. What does Mrs. Fringe do for work? Soon nothing, because she's quitting her job.
So sad.
She works in oil and gas. She works in well servicing. She's been in oil and gas for almost 20 years. It's
admin, executive admin, that kind of thing.
Oh, there's my brother chiming in. Derek's never been arrested, but then there's me. He did get all the good genes. There you go. I did get the good genes. I took them all. That's why my brother looks hideous and I look great. Dustin Ellis, what do you do if you see NDP signs everywhere on your street in the next election? We don't see them in Calgary ever.
Well, no, because the next election will be in Spruce Grove.
It's
Edmonton's an NDP area.
Yeah, Jasper is only 3 hours away from our new house.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we want to go look at the ashes, we can go look at them, I guess. Terrible what happened out there.
Yeah.
It's although you want to go do the skywalk.
I really
out
do.
there. That's pretty cool.
Really do.
If you don't know what the skywalk is, it sits up on one of the mountains and it's literally like a glass bridge you walk
That
across.
goes right in
It's
and back.
Absolutely amazing from what I've been told. So I would like to check that out at some point.
I bet you I'll be walking on it alone, but
are you the younger or the older? I'm the older of the brothers. So I'm the older. So this is my brother biologically. I've told you guys before I was adopted. My mother was a little promiscuous in her younger days.
As much as your grandmother.
And yeah, well, that's another story. But she got pregnant at 16, couldn't have a kid. I was given up for adoption. My parents are the best parents in the world. You know what? I was very grateful I got the chance before my mom died to tell her that, I've met my biological parents. My biological mother I don't talk to for various reasons. I mean, she told me she wished she had an abortion, so we don't talk. And it was all because I wouldn't give her money. So that was a fun experience.
Lots of family drama.
Family drama. But when it came down to things, I said to my mom that, you're always told that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. And I said, I'm really grateful that I got the green side of the fence when I was given up, because my parents were the best parents anybody could ask for.
So you have a sister with your adoptive family.
With I just call them my family because I have my biological parents and then I have my family.
So with your birth mother's side, you have your brother.
I have my brother who's in the stream.
And twin sisters.
Twin sisters that I don't talk to.
And then on your birth dad's side, you've got two younger brothers.
So quite a big family, but I'm grateful that even though I don't talk to my biological mother, I have a great relationship with my brother. He's a great uncle to my kids. He's a respectable human being.
Yeah, you found them shortly before we got married.
Just before we got married, actually, I met them. And my brother I mean, he served in the military. I have nothing but respect
He
for what
was
he's
not a
done.
fun teenager.
He wasn't a fun teenager, but I'll tell you, he turned out
He's
to be
got
a really
lot of
good
mean
guy.
stories about me.
He turned out to be a really good guy,
Yes.
and I'm grateful that
I
I
do
have
agree. And if
such a
and
good
when he moves to
relationship.
Spruce Grove, it'll be wonderful.
And he's moving out to Spruce, which is part of the reason we wanted to move out there. I wanted to be closer to my brother.
Yeah.
279 super chat from my brother. Hey, at least you got me out of the deal.
Yes.
There you go. And that's the best part of it.
It is.
I'm very grateful that we have that connection. In fact, I tell people all the time, that's having my brothers around in my life, not just this one brother. I love them all, and I think it's great. How long have you guys been married? Come on. I want to see.
17 years. Or did we just hit 18? 18 years?
18 years. There, even Miss Fringe gets it wrong. We've been married for 18 years.
Shit.
18 long years. We got married back in 2006. And yeah, what a ride. It's been a ride.
It has.
It's funny because a lot of our friends who have been married, divorced, that are single and divorced, like they always say, how do you guys do it? How do you guys stay together all this time? You kill their spirit. you destroy them from the inside, and then they just stay out of convenience. That's how it works. So she killed my spirit. I stay out of convenience. And it all worked out great. Dustin Ellis, a $10 super chat. Thank you for answering all my silly questions. Justin, you didn't have to give me more money. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, Tiffany's my best friend, and I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. I told her, she always comes up with the hypothetical. What happens if I get hit by a bus tomorrow? I say I would raise our children and just die a lonely, slow death, I guess, because there's nobody else in this world for me. That's the question is, how do you do it happily? No secrets.
Oh, don't think we're happy all the time.
I think we are. I think it's pretty close. There's the sarcasm. No secrets. Honesty. You have to remember, no matter what you go through, that it's a partnership. And that if you're honest with each other, you're going to move a lot further than if you're deceptive, if you keep secrets, if you're mad at each other. We never go to bed angry at each other. We hash out whatever's going on.
That was always a number one rule when we got married. It was probably the best advice we ever had, and we've never, ever, even if it's like a massive fight, we hash it out.
Iron Maiden saying money is the number one issue for divorces. Well, one of the reasons I love Mrs. Fringe, you're not very materialistic. I'm not either.
No. You're not?
I have fun, but I don't require these things.
You're not materialistic?
I wouldn't leave you if we didn't buy them. We've been through good times and bad times with finances, but we've gotten through them together.
Money's never really been an issue. We're just used to not having it.
I think that's mostly it. But I find that if you can communicate well with each other, if you can tell each other anything, hash out your differences, be straight with each other, love each other. Never forget why you married those people. I think you'll be okay in a relationship. Whatever the problem is, if you give it a day, give it, your time to blow off steam, and then you'll probably realize that whatever you're arguing over is very trivial and can be worked through. And we've been through some doozies and still come out the other side. Cripes, we don't even really fight that often, do we? Like, what, once a year? Maybe?
If
that. Like, we get along pretty well because we communicate. We're open with each other and we're straightforward. If I've got something going on, I'll tell her, and I used to have a friend who said, he was around that, like, if we went out and I did something, I'd call the wife and say, hey, I spent $20 on this. I'm just letting you know in case you're looking at the bank account.
I do it all the time too.
And he says, well, you're whipped. And I said, it has nothing to do with being whipped. I keep my wife informed of what I'm doing so that we both know that when we look at the accounts, when we do anything, that these were my intentions.
Sometimes you'll call me and be like, well, I saw this thing, this new arcade machine. I really think we need this game table. And I say no.
And then you come home with it, like you did the Dragon's Lair.
Mm-hmm. The game table I didn't come home with.
No. It's you got to be on the same page at all times, and you got to remember that whatever you're going through can be worked out. That's the best advice I can give to anybody.
It's hard work. It's supposed to be hard work. It's not supposed to be easy.
Bad anger management. I've seen Tiff give Derek a DDT through the table. No, you haven't. God, no. Come
What's
on.
a DDT?
That's like a pile driver. Come on,
I
John.
punched him twice.
Twice.
I was gonna say
I love
once.
how you had to hesitate there. Twice.
One
Twice.
time
I've
I was
punched
sleeping,
twice.
so it doesn't count.
Oh, come on. It's anyways, guys, we're going on and on in circles here. I know we're having fun. But I do have to, the kids are knocking on the door. And I hear Fortnite calling my name.
That's why your brother's on.
That's why my brother's on.
Waiting,
Let's go.
Waiting for the stream to end so you can be like, let's go.
Let's get it on. DMAC, you remind me of my marriage. Same people and families were jealous. It's just be happy. Marry your best friend. I think that's the best advice I could give to anybody. Marry your best friend. They'll never steer you in the wrong direction. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys are in a nice warm place where you can afford the heat, where you can enjoy your time off this weekend, kick your feet up. Unlike me, that'll be in this tiny crawl space moving our house over the weekend.
Vancouver's expecting 100 millimeters of rain this weekend.
Vancouver's about to get poured on, so
safe.
please, if you're in that area, stay inside. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know I enjoyed hanging out with you guys all the time, every time that we sit here and streams. I'll do a surprise stream at some point this week. Again, I don't schedule them only because, you know, with packing, with phone calls, with appointments with kids.
You never know if you're going to have a free night with kids.
I mean, Wednesday night, I kind of just said, you know what, I feel like a stream, and I just kind of got to it. So keep your eyes peeled this week, folks. I'll try and get a surprise stream in just to hang out with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the streaming. And big shout out to everybody for the super chats and the memberships tonight. I want to make sure I get everybody, not as to leave anybody out. Joe Lyman, Romanian Patriot, Susan Canada, Allison Taylor, Savage Silence, Jim Brown, It My World, Programmer X, Carson Sexsmith, Dustin Ellis with the multiple super chats tonight. Bad Anger Management. Thank you to all of you for the super chats, for the gifted memberships. Welcome to all of our brand new Patriots in the Patriots Club. Guys, keep your eyes peeled for Sunday. I'm going to have a brand new video dropping for you about Justin Trudeau getting into some legal trouble. And boy, you're going to want to see that one. It's huge, as Donald Trump says.
You're looking for your hat as you did it.
It's going to be great, guys, and more content rolling out during the week for you. I hope you guys have a great week coming up. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Stay away from the government and look after each other. I'll catch you on the next one. From me and Mrs. Fringe, have a great weekend, everybody.